Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, the podcast. I am so excited that you're joining me. This is a place where I share my health and wellness journey and have a ton of guests on. And we honestly talk about such a wide range of topics. Everything from biohacking to nutrition to supplements to exercise to mental health to like healing modalities that are just very different. And it's a great place. So thank you for joining. This week has been really exciting so far. I got my Peloton yesterday. And if you listened to last week's episode, I was kind of talking about it and talking about if I wanted to get it or not. And I did order one. And I did my first workout yesterday on the Peloton, and it was so hard. Wow. Okay. So I did a 45-minute ride, and I didn't choose a beginner class because I was like, I used to cycle. I used to go to Soul Cycle. I'm fine. I can do this. I died. It was so difficult. I can't even tell you how much sweat was coming off of my face. It was very unattractive. I loved it. It was amazing. And I can totally see why Peloton is kind of like a cult, is what people say. And I can totally see that now. I had the best time. I think I burned about 400 calories in that 45 minutes. And I was actually the bottom of the leaderboard, which is just like, I don't know if that's embarrassing or if that's normal. But like there were people who were crushing it when I was doing it, and they were burning way more than me. So if you hear like 400 calories in 45 minutes and you think that's not that much, yeah, that was like an average person doing it and not like maybe what your fitness level is. And honestly, I was really surprised. So I've kind of talked about this on Instagram before, but I think my fitness level is pretty low right now in terms of like my abilities compared to what it once was. And that has a lot to do with COVID and working from home and the switch in the last like 20 months. Not that I'm blaming that, but it just really has changed how much movement I do and changed the opportunities that I've had. And so it's been tough. And now that I have a Peloton, I honestly wish I bought it 20 months ago, because I wonder how fit I would be right now if I had had it for that long. Yeah, but don't want to think about that. So I bought the original bike. You can buy the Bike Plus, but honestly, for me, I don't think that I need all the bells and whistles like that. And if you're in Canada, the Bike Plus is like substantially more money than the original bike. So I just like don't think that I need it, but I can see the appeal for those who are like super fit and want it. But I'm really excited. So, if you're listening and you have a Peloton, message me, because I would love to follow people and like kind of create like a biohacking community on there. I'm sure there are a ton of biohackers on there. I just need to find them, and I'd love to ride together. And yeah, just really enjoy the community aspect of it, which is something that I was looking for. The other update that I want to give you is I bought raw milk last week. Now, maybe this episode is going to be flagged and not even be published because I said that out loud. Raw milk in Canada is illegal. Yeah, like legit, you could go to jail for 3 years if you're caught selling it or buying it. And I'm going to do a full podcast episode on this because my experience has been very, very eye-opening. And at this time, I can't give names on where I got it from because I don't want to impact anyone's livelihood and impact the farms. But it actually is pretty, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's doable. Like if you're living in Canada and you're like, I want raw milk, it's doable. You just got to put in the work online, find the communities, make the contacts and do it, which is what I did. And I'll talk more about it. But it was so interesting last week on Friday. I had to go pick it up from this place that is like 45 minutes away from where I live right now in this parking lot. And there was a 15-minute window to go pick this raw milk up. Okay. So it was like between 11:30 and 11:45, and you had to show up and you had to bring bags so that like if you're carrying it down the street, no one can see what's in it. It was literally like a drug deal. Like it was so weird. Like I showed up, I said 2 words to this person, took it, put it in my car and drove away. It was nuts. Paying cash, like total drug deal. And yeah, so I bought raw goat's milk and it's been phenomenal. So I'm definitely going to do a full episode on this because when I posted a story about it a few days ago, a lot of people responded and a lot of people wanted to know about the benefits and what does it taste like? Where do you get it? Why is it illegal? Like there's just so much information about it. So I'm definitely going to talk about it more, but I love it so far. And it's been, I guess I only got it on Friday. So I guess it's been like a few days, but it's been really good and it's very, very tasty and it doesn't taste like goaty at all, which has like been some people's reviews. But it's nice to get goat milk because it's easier on digestion and it's more similar to human milk actually. So I'm sure like all the moms listening out there probably know this, but if a mom can't breastfeed and she doesn't want to buy breast milk from another mother or she doesn't want to use formula, goat's milk is the next best thing because it's so similar to the molecular structure of breast milk. And so it's very easy for humans to digest goat's milk in general, and especially raw. So raw means it has all of the enzymes in it. It has all of the healthy bacteria in it. And it's a very holistic, whole animal product. So there's been no heat that's been applied to it. And so, yeah, which I'll get into when I do a full podcast episode on it, but the taste is phenomenal. And I'm really, really curious to see kind of like how this impacts my hormones, impacts my menstrual cycle, impacts my health. But right now I'm very happy with it. I also bought a bunch of eggs from this farm, which I just posted a reel about. And I did a reel on the difference between Costco eggs and Costco organic eggs, okay, and local farm pasture raised cage free eggs. And so if you haven't seen that reel, go look at it and look at the difference. And it's just so interesting that people like label things as organic now and you think you're buying this like super healthy product. But when you actually look at what it's supposed to look like in real life, in nature, it looks completely different. So go see that. And I talk all about the difference between the eggs in that post. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of moving towards this idea of not a carnivore diet necessarily, but more like ancestral nutrition, as well as Weston A price nutrition. I have a few of the books that talk about that. So I've been drinking like bone broth every day. I started eating organ meat. I'm drinking raw milk. I'm eating raw cheese. I haven't found raw butter yet, but I want to find it. I got raw kefir. Holy, raw goat kefir is so bitter. Oh my goodness. I can only have like a shot a day because it's so bitter compared to like the processed kefir I've had from a store. Like it's so different, completely different than what I thought it was going to taste like. Yeah. And so bone broth. And then I'm also going to make bone marrow because I love bone marrow. So good. Just having a hard time finding the bones for that. I made chicken hearts the other night. I've made supplements from chicken hearts and cow liver, which I also posted a photo about, and I'm going to talk more about that. So I'm just moving towards more nutrient dense, less processed food. And I don't want to say less vegetables, but it's kind of like less vegetables. And I don't know if that's going to continue. I just kind of feel led in this way. And I don't know what life is going to look like in 6 months. I could be totally different, but I'm feeling very drawn to like these very earthy, nutrient dense foods. Like having bone broth every single morning is like amazing and feels so nourishing and grounding compared to like starting the morning with a cup of coffee. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now with my nutrition. And I'm creating a lot of content around it because I get so much response from it. Like, it's been crazy. Like, I think that's just a reflection of biohackers and biohacking in general, is like this idea of ancestral nutrition or keto or carnivore really, really like it is just reflective of biohackers. Whereas in the past, when I've posted like, like a vegetable recipe or like salted caramel paleo pecan pie, it's like, it does well, but there's not nearly as much interest as this type of thing that I'm posting. So it's cool that I'm very interested in this and finding it very supportive for my own health. And I think other people are as well. So I'm going to continue that. And if you have any like tips or recommendations around this type of eating, around this type of food, message me, because I'm very interested in it. And I have a few cookbooks and books, but I'm open to other books and other recipes and other ideas around this for sure. So today we are diving into the world of collagen, which is a great topic. Again, like something that is very appropriate for the health and wellness and biohacking community. And this collagen is full spectrum, and I actually use it daily. So when I make my like bulletproof coffee, I don't really know if it's bulletproof. It's more like a keto coffee. I put collagen in it, and this is the collagen that I use because it's got so many different types of collagen in it. And we also talk about bone broth and collagen in bone broth and what collagen can really do for the body, hair, skin, nails, brain, hormones, everything. So collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, right? And so we really need to be replenishing that. And I learned a lot from this episode. So stay tuned and listen for that. And of course, if you are looking for the sponsors for this episode, you can do that through the show notes on my website, which I will grab for you right now. So it's going to be episode 73. So it'll be biohackingbrittany.com/blogs/podcast/73. Or you can just go to my website and it's right on the front. And yeah, you'll be able to see the sponsors. And the sponsors for this week, like Inside Tracker, who is my favorite because I do all my testing through them, Oasis, which is the coffee alternative, and Keon Lean, which is really exciting because all the biohackers know Ben Greenfield owns Keon, and I was super excited to talk to them about working together. I love Keon's products. I've used multiple of them, and their lean product, oh my gosh, is perfect for weight management around the holidays. I'm serious. Seriously, listen to the ad for this one, because if you're worried about all of your holiday events coming up, and I know you are because you're telling me in my DMs, this is what you want to be taking. So yeah, and the links for that are on my website and in the show notes and everywhere like that. Yeah, so enjoy this and stay tuned next week for another episode. Okay, welcome to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. I am so happy to have you joining me and listening in today as we talk about all things collagen. And this is actually very suited for right now because I'm sitting here drinking bone broth, which has like collagen in it and a bunch of the same amino acids and minerals. And so we're definitely going to dive into the different types of collagen and what it can help with. And honestly, like I've been using collagen for years on and off, and I've tried so many different brands. And today we have Charlie Bales with us, who is the CEO and founder of CB Supplements. And they mainly focus on collagen. And they're multi-collagen products. He's also a CrossFitter, a dad of 3, and a total health nut. So obviously he had to come on the show. So Charlie, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Brittany. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you and talking all things collagen, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of start from the beginning. I know part of your health journey had to do with your daughter and in terms of like creating this company. So I would love for you to kind of describe what happened there and what led you to do this.
Yeah, I'd love to. For anybody that has a child, or my gosh, even a dog or an elderly parent, anybody that you're looking after, that it's your responsibility. That word responsibility completely changes when you do have a child or you adopt a pet or something like that. And the same thing happened for me, really, with my daughter Vivian. She's 8 years old now. So as I continue to tell this story, it's like, man, this doesn't feel like it was yesterday anymore because it's been so many years. But that just means we've been living and eating and investing in our health for so many years, which is why she's in such great health now as an 8-year-old. So now let's go back to kind of the dark times when I heard my wife's pregnancy was totally fine. Vivian's delivery was totally fine. She was a normal baby. She just got sick, which I have 3 kids, like, kids just get sick. And I understand that. And we were told that. However, with Vivian, she just got sick a lot more than most kids. And Leanne and I, my amazing wife, we did what every parent would do. You go to the pediatrician and you ask, hey, what's going on? And then they say, oh, she's got this. Here's an antibiotic. And then you go back 3 weeks later. Oh, she's got this. Here's a steroid. And you go back 3 weeks later, oh, she might have this. Give her an inhalation treatment. And after a year or so of doing this and a couple of hospital visits with 106-degree fevers and shortness of breath, I mean, I would never wish on anybody on this planet to have one of their loved ones rush to the hospital because you're wondering, I wonder if she's going to stop breathing right now. All that happened. And finally, I looked at Leanne and I'm like, this cannot be how it's supposed to be. Like, Vivian's getting sick way too much. We need to look for the alternative route as opposed to just drugging her and steroiding her up because her behavior just got worse as she's on all this stuff. So that happened when she was about 2, maybe 18 months, somewhere around there. I just said enough. And by the time she was 3, we had been making small changes. And it started with diet, started with cutting out gluten and just trying to understand what a vegetable oil is and cutting that out and just decreasing the total amount of carbohydrates that we're eating and sleeping more and just changing our lifestyles. And then that part of that health piece, because I describe health as kind of this pie. It's funny now that I think about it, pie. I think of health as a pie with like 10 pieces to it. And I've talked about gluten, I've talked about vegetable oils, and I've read all these doctors' books that talk about this stuff, these West medical doctors who are your primary care physician who cross over into the diet nutrition world. I mean, you know a lot of their names. William Davis with Wheat Belly. I know Dave Asprey isn't a doctor, but he probably should be with everything that he knows. So you read all these people's books and you just start asking these questions. And we made all these changes, and collagen became a piece of a piece of this health pie that we discovered a couple of years into our changes. And that really came from reading Kate Shanahan's book, Dr. Kate Shanahan's book, Deep Nutrition, and understanding what exactly is bone broth and why is it so amazing? And why is meat on the bone so amazing? And what the heck is an organ meat? So we're in about year 2 of this process. I'm getting my master's at the time, and kid number 2 has come along, and we see that, he's not having the same problems as Vivian because we did a lot of things right with him where we just didn't with Vivian. So that's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to start this company. That naive entrepreneurial spirit of wanting to help as many people as possible, because a couple years into it, Vivian stopped getting sick as much. It would be instead of once a month, it'd be once every 3 months. And then it'd be every 6 months. And then it would be, whoa, Vivian's been sick in a year. What's going on? And now, I mean, she's 8 years old. I think she had COVID a year ago and it did nothing to her. It took me down more than it took her down, which is funny. And then before that, she wasn't sick for probably a year prior. So, I mean, we've got this like beautiful, athletic, strong 8-year-old that's been eating in a way that is this healthy lifestyle we've been living for about 5 to 6 years now. And it's been a continuous journey. And now I've got a company called CB Supplements that specializes in selling only multi-source collagen protein that would not be around if I didn't have my kids, and especially to start the family with Vivian.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how things kind of play out like that. Like when you're in the thick of it, you don't necessarily think like, oh, out of this is going to come this like really successful business. You're kind of just like in the thick of it, trying to get your kid to be healthier. Every entrepreneur kind of has that journey and has that story of like this is what happened to me. I saw a problem and I created a solution. And it sounds like that's exactly what you experienced. And now you get to help so many other people do the same, just like you did for your daughter.
Yeah, that's totally the mission. And I use that word that we're in business now. CB Supplements is in business. Sure, we're a for-profit company and we need to make money to pay our bills, but this is a mission. I mean, we're on a mission to help educate the world on why collagen protein is so much different than a whey protein or a casein protein. It's really a fourth missing macronutrient. We've got fat, carbs, and protein, but I wish that collagen was its own macronutrient that people would focus on, and the world would probably be a healthier place if we did that.
Yeah, I definitely do want to talk about the difference between collagen protein and other ones like you mentioned. But before we kind of get into that, I'm just curious, what type of diet and nutrition plan do you and your family follow right now?
Yeah. So I've tested in all these years of trying to figure out health to make Vivian healthier. I've tested everything. Heck, I went vegan for 8 weeks and I lost 25 pounds and actually ended up, I mean, I felt great, but then I felt awful. And I was like, wow, I just really want to go eat a cow. Like, I don't even care if the cow's alive or dead. I'm just going to eat it. So that's when I very quickly found out I'm not made for that diet, nor do I think anybody is, because you're not eating collagen, a massive component. I mean, I've done hardcore keto, I've done carnivore, I've done paleo, I've done everything. And I would say the way that we eat right now, it's just real. And it's, yes, I would consider our diet low carb and certainly higher protein and higher fat. But if you ask me what I ate for lunch today, I had a homemade pork bowl with every vegetable you can think of, and it was on top of white rice. So like, I eat white rice, but the white rice was cooked in kettle and fire bone broth with a stick of butter. So I mean, I look at certain carbohydrates as just a transportation mechanism. And I do CrossFit and I'm very physically active. So I think there's a time and a place for carbohydrates. So, I mean, we definitely follow what some people would call Dave Asprey's like bulletproof diet, or Abel James's wild diet, or Kate Shanahan's, human diet. They're all very similar. I'd say that they're protein heavy, good fats, timed carbs perfectly, and not overeating. And I do practice some form of intermittent fasting. Just, I don't even think about it. It's just, I don't eat for 12 hours or 14 or 16 hours. Whoops, I'm not hungry. All right, I guess that was a long answer to your simple question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like that tends to happen when you're eating enough healthy fat and enough protein, you're satiated more. So you're not necessarily hungry all the time compared to when you're eating processed food and a lot of carbohydrates and your blood sugar is just going haywire. So for someone who like has never had collagen before, but has kind of like heard about it and say they were to start taking it daily, what are like the typical benefits that they could start seeing?
Gosh, such a good question. And I promise you I'll answer it, but first I'm going to tell the audience kind of what collagen is. How about? So collagen is the most abundant protein in our bodies. And I know that we're just talking via voice right now. We can't see each other and it's not like I'm on live TV, but if you just look at your arm and you see your bicep muscle, you see your tricep muscle, and then you see all your forearm muscles. Guess what's in between those three major muscle groups? We call it our elbow. Well, your elbow is made of bone, tendon, ligament, connective tissue, veins, blood vessels, skin, nerves. All that stuff is made of collagen. A nerve isn't made of collagen, but it's held up by connective tissue that is made of collagen. So everything that is holding our foundation together is collagen. And our bodies are pretty amazing at manufacturing collagen from our diet to keep this amazing human body afloat. So, I mean, collagen's everywhere. It's the whites of your eyeballs. It's your hair. It's your fingernails. It's your small intestinal lining. It is everywhere in your body. But once you hit about the age of 25 to 30, it depends on the individual, this collagen manufacturing machine of our bodies starts to decrease production. Maybe it's 1% a year. Maybe it's 2%. It really depends on the individual and their lifestyle choices. And then once you get to be in your 50s or 60s, again, depending on the individual and the lifestyle, that collagen manufacturing might decrease at 10 to 15% per year. This is why you cannot see a friend for a couple of years and go, whoa, you have aged horribly.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, that you can see someone you haven't seen for 10 years and then they look the exact same 10 years later.
Yeah.
That's because of, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but I'm biased, and I'm going to say that collagen's probably, if it's not the number one reason, it's in the top three. So that's what collagen is. It's everywhere in our bodies. Now let's talk about what it does and get to your question. What are the benefits of even supplementing with it? So we're the company. CV Supplements is the company. I'm going to tell you, don't buy our product. Get your collagen from food. You started the show by saying you're sipping on a nice cup of bone broth. I'm going to tell people, I would much rather you drink 16 to 24 ounces of bone broth every day. And if you do that, you don't need to supplement with collagen. I'd much rather you eat a bone-in ribeye, or eat, when you have a piece of chicken, make sure it's on the bone, and eat the skin and eat the tendons and ligaments and the cartilage that's left over on the bone. Eat all that. That's all collagen. And if you do that, I mean, I've been on Sean Baker's podcast, who is Mr. Carnivore himself. And I just flat out told him, I'm like, Sean, you don't need to supplement with collagen. When all you're eating is bone-in ribeyes, like, you're getting enough, you're fine. So there are people on this that don't need our product. And I mean, what CEO of a company is going to say, don't buy our product? Well, I am. I'd much rather people have a perfect diet, but I recognize that it's 2021, I think. And, diet, it's really hard to eat healthy in today's world, especially you're in Canada. I'm in the States. Like, you are bombarded with advertisements, candy, McDonald's, Coke, Pepsi. Yes. So like, I get it. It's hard to eat as clean as we all want to. So getting back to, I told you, I promise you I'm going to answer your question, but it's just it's good knowledge for people to know. So, all right, our product, what does it do? The most, or the top three things that we hear from our customers once they start taking our product is, wow, I can get up in the morning and my body doesn't, my tennis elbow has kind of faded away. My bad knees just don't hurt anymore. I mean, I get that about once every couple of days now. We'll get a review and we'll get an email from someone. And it's to the tune of this. I got in a horrible car accident. They told me that I was never going to be able to run the way that I used to. I've been taking your product for 3 months and I just ran a 5K. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm getting goosebumps just even telling you this story, because that was an actual story from a customer like this week. Another one that I love telling is this gentleman, and he was in his 40s, not an old guy. He reached out and he said, I stopped taking your product because I'm lazy for about a month. I took your product for 3 months. I really didn't notice anything. So I stopped taking it. And the month that I stopped taking it, I noticed my hair started thinning. My skin started getting blotchy. My knees started hurting again. My digestive system was not operating at full capacity. So I started taking your product again, and all those went away. And I responded to him like, yeah, that's kind of what our product does. It helps you with all that stuff, because guess what? You're not 18, you're 43. I said that in a nice way to him. So, our product does all of that. It supports your joints. It kind of rebuilds. I don't think I'm allowed to say stuff like that, but it helps to rebuild your joint material. It helps to support them. That's the main thing we hear. And then the second thing we hear is digestive support, the thing that no one talks about. If you're not going to the bathroom every day, that's a problem. And one of my best friends on the planet, finally, after taking our product for a couple of months, was like, ever since I started taking your product, I've been going to the bathroom every day, very consistently. And I'm like, you weren't before? I'm thrilled that our product has helped you to do that. And it will, because our product can help support the small intestinal lining and the integrity of it. Because guess what all that's made of? Made of collagen. And then the last thing we hear is the hair, skin, and nail factor. Like, your hair is growing faster, your fingernails and toenails are growing, and your skin looks better than it ever has. And does our product help decrease wrinkles? A little bit. It's not Botox. Like, we're not the fountain of youth in that capacity. However, those three things, your hair, your skin, and your nails, if those are an outward expression to your inward health. So if your toenails aren't growing, that means that your body is having to throw resources to fight inflammation somewhere else, and it can't do its normal function. So when people tell me, yeah, your product, all it's really doing is helping me grow my fingernails faster, I just want to scream, like, you do realize that you're a healthier person then, because the overall level of inflammation in your body has decreased. So now your fingernails are allowed to grow. And this is part of the education process. And those are the three main things that we hear. Of course, we hear more that, like, oh, I sleep better. I've heard that a dozen times too. And with Vivian, what happened with her when we introduced collagen in her diet is because she was 4 at the time. So like her body's pretty damn good at making collagen, but her body was under so much inflammation that collagen can help just decrease that substantially. And that's exactly what it did to her. I think it helped repair her stomach or her small intestinal lining, which then helped beef up the strength of her immune system. And then her hair started growing faster, her nails started growing faster, and she started getting sick less. So like I saw this happen to something that I love more than myself. And like, all right, time to go start the business and start the company.
I'd love to quickly interrupt this podcast to ask you, do you know your biological age? Do you know your current hormone, vitamin, and mineral levels? Honestly, it's hard to know what's going on internally without getting tested. And traditionally, you'd have to go through your doctor or your healthcare provider to order these tests, go into a lab, and it would be a whole ordeal. It would take a while as well. For me personally, this has always been a hurdle for understanding what is actually going on and how to optimize my biomarkers and even know my biological age in the first place. Thankfully, though, we can order a at-home test from Inside Tracker that lets us do this. It tests for your biological age, your hormone, mineral, and vitamin levels. This is a very, very comprehensive test that lets you get a ton of data from a single kit without having to go to a doctor or go to a lab or really leave your house. If you're looking for the ultimate blood test, try Inside Tracker, which includes testing 43 different biomarkers and the option to test your inner age and your DNA. You can use my discount code BiohackingBrittany for 25% off all of their products, and you can go through the link in my show notes or my website and get tested today. Yeah, I love that. And I relate a lot to that actually, because when I was a teenager, I started experiencing a lot of hair loss and it was getting thinner and shorter. And I didn't understand what was going on. And like, why is this happening when I'm 16? Like, I'm way too young for this, whatever. And eventually, when I started going down this whole journey of natural health, I came to that same realization of, why would my body take my nutrients and give it towards growing hair when there's obviously so much else going on that it needs to redirect it to? And so when people take your supplement and take collagen and they start noticing like their hair growing, it's exactly like you said, that is a very good sign that what is going on internally for you is actually in a very good state right now.
100%. And that's why it's music to my ears, even when someone leaves us a review. Yeah, my nails are growing faster. I am thrilled because we are like the ultimate Trojan horse of a supplement. Like, yeah, your nails are growing faster. That's all you see. But everything else that's happening that you don't even know about, nor do most people probably care about, and that's fine, it's still happening. And that just brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. Like when I first got into collagen, it was a lot of like hair, skin, nails, like how is this going to benefit my outward appearance, like type of thing. And in the beauty world, that's kind of how it is. But the benefits for like your gut health and everything else that you've talked about are like substantial. And it's really nice to be able to get those at the same time. And so you briefly mentioned taking other protein powders and kind of using those or not using them. So as somebody who does CrossFit, which is obviously a very difficult workout. I've never done it, but I'm too scared to do it. Like, do you take other protein powders? Do you use whey protein or do you only use collagen?
So I personally only take collagen. It's the only supplement that I take right now. I mean, if we ever did make more supplements, it would probably be a multivitamin of some sort that would be different than anything out there. And, maybe we have a couple other ideas, but we're the collagen company. That's all most of us take. That's all I take. I do recommend to people that they do take another form of protein if they're not eating enough meat and getting enough protein from their diet. And so for me, I eat a substantial amount of animal protein. So I don't need to supplement with whey. That would just be a waste of my wallet, really, because I eat enough meat. So do you want me to talk about kind of the difference between the whey protein and the casein proteins and the muscle meat and collagen?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to break that down, that would be great.
Yeah, and I'll try to do it in like the crazy non-scientific way so that people can relate to it, because this is where it's super beneficial to have somebody like Dr. Kate Shanahan, who is on our team at CV Supplements. I mean, that's a story in and of itself that I read her book. She changes my life. And now I get to work with her at CV Supplements. Yeah. So you have she might be the smartest person on our team that can get super nerdy and sciencey into this. But here's the high level. When you consume collagen protein, as opposed to consuming a muscle meat protein or a whey protein supplement, or even a casein protein supplement, it starts a different process of your body. The amino acid peptide chain. And I know I probably just lost half your audience there, but here's the basic breakdown. When you eat a protein, your body breaks that down into individual amino acids. And sometimes those amino acids can be linked together. Those are called a chain. And an individual amino acid is called a peptide. You have that peptide chain of these amino acids. The peptide chain that's found in collagen, which those are like glycine, proline, and then the hydroxylated versions of those. So hydroxyproline, hydroxylysine, hydroxylglycine, all of these things. When you have those individual amino acids stranded together in a peptide, that's different. The peptide chains that are in muscle meat or in whey protein are not what I just said. It's like an apple and an orange. One's red and a fruit. I guess they're both fruit, but one's red and they're just totally different. They have different minerals. They have different vitamins. It's the same thing. It's why collagen should be its own food group, because when you eat a steak and there's no bone or anything on it, it's not going to have any collagen in it. And when you eat a whey protein shake or a casein protein shake, that's telling your body, go fix and repair muscle mass. That's it. And it'll start a couple different processes, but for the sake of just the simplicity of what I'm trying to say, think animal protein, whey protein, casein protein. That tells your body, go fix and repair and restore and regenerate muscle, which is it's pretty important. We need that. Mm-hmm. So what collagen does, though, is the body sees these peptide chains that I just talked about and goes, that's different. That's telling us to go fix and repair connective tissue, not muscle. So when you take collagen, your body is going to go fix and repair connective tissue. Well, what makes up connective tissue? Your skin, your ligaments, your tendon, your bones are collagen with minerals found in between the spider web, the magnesium and the phosphorus and the calcium. That's what your body goes to fix and repair and regenerate and everything when you consume collagen, which is why so many of our customers, when they take our product, go, yeah, my knee doesn't hurt anymore, or my skin cleared up. Well, yeah, because the steak you're eating is not telling the body to go fix and repair your knee and your skin. Your body's doing the best it can to manufacture what it can with what you give it. But once you give it what it needs and what it deserves, which is collagen, this fourth missing food group, magical things can happen. Hopefully that was a simple way of explaining it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. And definitely explaining just how it acts in the body is very helpful. Are you concerned about the upcoming holidays and your ability to continue to eat healthy? I've had a few people reach out over social media and my clients and ask me about tips on how to follow their diet or nutrition plan, but also enjoy themselves. It's tough when we have Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas parties, holiday parties, New Year's, work events, and anything else that really gives us opportunities to indulge in super calorie-rich food that we usually don't eat. So how can you not worry as much about this and still maintain healthy glucose levels and start the new year on the right foot? I believe in balance, and I definitely think you deserve to indulge, especially this year when we haven't been able to see friends and family a lot lately. The events that we do go to in person, I want you to have a good time and have fun. And I would hate to have any recommendation that is restrictive. I'll be taking Keon Lean supplement, which uses plant-based ingredients to support your metabolism, even after carb-heavy meals. So when you're out at these parties, dinners, and events, and likely eating more carbohydrates and calories, using Keon Lean helps to shuttle the excess glucose in your bloodstream into your muscles rather than storing it as fat. Through this mechanism, it supports metabolic wellness, assists in weight management, and can be a part of your diet to help maintain a healthy blood glucose level. I will definitely be taking a few of these at all of my events. Absolutely. And you can do the same. It's super easy. Just go to getkeon.com/Brittany and you get 10% off all products, including Keon Lean, and also 20% off any product subscriptions. You can use my code biohackingbrittany at checkout as well. Again, that's getkeon.com/Brittany for 10% off all products and 20% off all product subscriptions. This link will be in my show notes. It'll be on my website. And also you can DM me and message me on Instagram and I will send it to you as well, because I think we all need this for the holidays coming up. I've seen multiple types of collagen out there. And it's been interesting because I've read different things about what people recommend. So there's marine collagen or like bovine or like these different types. And I've kind of heard both arguments for this. So like, where do you stand on that? And what do you recommend people go towards if they were going to try collagen?
Yes, it's such a great question. And it's why we have a multi-source collagen, because I think that you could take a bovine only collagen, which is just cow skin, and is that going to help you with your knees? Maybe. It's two different types. Like you've got type 1 and type 3 that are going to come from cow skin, but could in theory your body create type 2 collagen, which is found in your joint material from the bovine supplement that you're taking? Yeah, I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world. Would I personally rather you consume chicken as a chicken collagen source, chicken bone broth, or we use chicken bone broth concentrate as one of the ingredients in our multi-source collagen, because chicken supplies type 2 collagen, which is the type that is actually found in your joints. Yeah, I think I would rather do that. That just kind of makes intuitive sense. You eat animal muscle to get your muscles bigger. Well, what if you ate the particular animal's joint material that we know has the type of collagen that's found in our joint material? Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And that's why we use all four sources. I mean, heck, if we could figure out how to get collagen from a reindeer or a dinosaur, I'd add them to our mix right now. But we use bovine. So that gives us type 1 and type 3. We use the chicken bone broth concentrate, and that gives us, and also a little bit of type 10, which is also in your joints. We use the membrane of an eggshell. So when you crack the egg, that like sticky stuff that kind of stays on the membrane or on the white eggshell that we throw away, that's all collagen. So we use that as an ingredient, and that gives you type 5 and type 10, which are two type 5 collagen for all the female listeners out there. That's the type of collagen that makes up the placenta. So you're not getting that when you're not getting it unless you're eating a ton of eggs, taking a collagen supplement like ours, you're just not getting it. So I highly recommend it to women all the time. And I think that was a crucial additive to my wife's time with our two boys that helped give them better health than Vivian did when she first started out. And then the fourth ingredient we use is the fish source, and we use the scales and the bones and everything. So it's a true multi-source collagen. I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot of science out there that will support everything that I'm saying, just because collagen, it's a fairly new topic when you come to scientific literature and research. And there's just, the pharmaceutical industry hasn't figured out how to make money on the collagen that we're selling. So there's just not a lot of studies out there. And that just kind of is what it is. But we reference a ton of studies on our website and in our articles that we talk about. And that is what we believe. And listen, I'm the guy who told you don't buy our product. I'm also the guy that's going to tell you if you don't want to buy a product that's multi-source because you have a sensitivity to eggs or chicken or something, go buy Dave Asprey's product, Bulletproof. And because it is just pure bovine and it's a great product. I have no problem saying that. I understand our product is not for everybody, but that's what we believe. And that's the product that we're making.
Have you searched for coffee substitutes before? Something that tastes just as earthy, but without the caffeine? I know I definitely have. With the current state of things and working from home and just stress in general, I'm always interested in ways to reduce my stress and support my adrenal glands. This also includes being aware of how much coffee I'm having, because I can definitely have too much coffee in the morning and be too hyped up from all the caffeine. But luckily, we can use ingredients like adaptogens, mushrooms, and minerals to enhance our mental focus and provide natural energy and vitality without the stimulating effects. This includes ingredients like lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, gotu kola, and ashwagandha, which are designed to support our adrenal glands, the glands that release our stress hormone, cortisol. They're also designed to reduce stress without any stimulating effect, and you can use them throughout the day. Oasis Adaptogens has a new coffee substitute powder out called Not Coffee, which does exactly this. They also have a supplement called Oasis Balance that is an adaptogen blend. You can take it in the morning and at night to support healthy stress management. Be sure to click the link in my show notes or on my podcast page or go to oasisadaptogens.com and use my promo code biohackingbrittany to get 10%. That's oasisadaptogens.com and my promo code is biohackingbrittany to get 10% off today. Yeah, I definitely respect that. I think part of the criticism that I heard, this is a while ago, of things like bovine collagen was that because it's coming from a cow's skin, there's a potential that skin has quite a bit of like fat and made into the tissues. And there's a potential that there's actually quite a lot of toxins stored in that. So it's better to use marine over bovine because of that reason, and like something to do with the toxins. Now, mind you, I don't follow that advice, but I remember that coming up in a few different articles and I've seen brands talk about that. So does that hold true in any type of capacity?
It's just beautiful marketing by the company that's selling. Like, I'll say yes and no. And I'll say yes because most supplements are just garbage. I mean, it's a gajillion-dollar business, and 60% of the products on the shelf at a GNC or somewhere else are just absolute garbage. And that's another reason why I wanted to create the company, because I was an athlete. I was always injured. If I would have had this product when I was in my playing days, God only knows how that would have changed things. So we get our product certified by NSF, which is the National Sanitation Foundation. They certify our product for sport, which means that they have done the heavy metal testing. They've tested it for 296 banned substances. They test that what we say is in the product is actually in the product. And there's none of these toxins that you're talking about. Every company out there, if they wanted to get their product NSF certified, it takes a whole lot of money and a lot of time. So that's why people don't do it. And that's why GNC can sell so many bad products. But ours is NSF certified. It's the cleanest product out there. We're the only multi-source collagen on the planet that holds that certification, which is baffling to me. But also, now that I know what it takes to get that certification, it's a whole heck of a lot easier to just can a product and put it on the shelves of a retailer and just have people buy it. So and we also have a line of products that is not NSF certified because we got to stay in stock. But as the guy who knows what's going into the products, I can tell you they're pretty much the same thing. You just pay for a certification for one and not for the other, and they're two different labels. Maybe I shouldn't say that because that'll sacrifice our sales, but it's fine. I'd rather people just get a better product than not buy anything at all.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about collagen coming from a plant source, like mushrooms or anything like that? Like I know probably it's not possible like biologically, but have you heard anything about that?
Oh yeah. It drives me bananas when I see vegan collagen supplement. That is such a lie and biologically impossible Plants do not have collagen. You can only get collagen from an animal. So any product out there that's saying is a vegan collagen, it's a pure marketing, and they're a collagen booster, because this study says that vitamin C can help boost collagen production in your body. And I'm not saying that's not a lie. There is some validity to that. But most people have enough vitamin C in their body that you don't need to add it to your collagen supplement, or you don't need to take a vegan collagen booster that has blueberry powder and gives you vitamin C. Like, it is just pure snake. But I'm sure at some point we're going to figure out how to grow collagen on a genetically modified soybean and create a real vegan collagen. Yum. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thoughts whenever I saw that, and I saw people talking about that online. I was like, I don't think it works like this. This doesn't make any sense. And as like, there's such a push right now for these vegan versions of everything. And it's just like, what are they called? Like Impossible Burgers and like all of that stuff. It's just garbage. It's so processed. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad you clarified that, because if you're going to take collagen, you might as well take the most potent source that you can get, nutrient dense and multifaceted like yours is, and really, really reap the benefits if you cannot have a daily dose of bone broth or something like that, which I just don't think most people are doing.
No, they're not. I mean, even I consider myself a health nut, as you alluded to in the introduction. Mm-hmm. And I don't even drink bone broth every day, because like, it's hot in Florida. I don't want to drink 16 ounces of steaming hot bone broth every single day. It's just so easy to throw a scoop of our unflavored collagen in my morning coffee, or drink our strawberry lemonade, which is sweetened with stevia and has no other additive, in my water while I'm at CrossFit. Boom, I've got my 4 scoops of the day. I'm good. Like, we've made it so easy now, because I created the product for a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
A 4-year-old's not going to take bone broth.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that. So like, I've had the different flavors, and I put mine in my version of bulletproof coffee every morning. But I was thinking about, just while we were talking, like kids and the old idea of sitting down for dinner, and there's always like a glass of milk with dinner, and which is just awful. And I'm glad like a lot of people have moved away from that. But imagine if you replace that with a glass of like hot bone broth every single day for your family. I don't know. I think that would just be amazing and so nutrient dense and great for children and adults.
Yeah, the world would probably be a healthier place. Well, I shouldn't say probably. It would absolutely be a healthier place.
Yeah, no, it definitely would. Well, this has been awesome. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. If people listening want to try your collagen, where can they go and how can they find you?
Yeah, so our website is CB Supplements. The CB, yes, it stands for my name, Charlie Bales. That's what you get when you get a single founder who doesn't have a marketing background, scramming Google at midnight 4 years ago. Well, how can I get a name that's not registered in a domain and all that? CB Supplements. There we go. So cbsupplements. And if people want to try us out, we do. I know you're in Canada and you get a lot of listeners up there. We do ship to Canada. You can order on our website. It is moderately expensive. It's easier. If you order 3 bottles, it'll cost the same as shipping 1 bottle. So it's not crazy expensive. Maybe it's 30 or $40, but just shoot us an email. You'll see a little thing on the side that says contact us at support. Well, guess who answers the support emails? I do. So because I love it. I love customer service. I love dealing with our customers. So if anybody across the border wants to order our product, just shoot us an email and we'll find a way to get it to you. But if you're in the States, super easy to order, and anybody can use the discount code Biohacking Brittany, and that'll give them $5 off of our product. And we look forward to servicing your listener base.
Yeah. So I'll definitely put that in the show notes and on my website so people can be redirected to you and try out your collagen. I love it and I take it every day, and I definitely recommend others do as well. So thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me, Brittany. This is great.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.